For 5 years, I gave everything to that company. Every late night, every skipped holiday, every moment I could have spent at home was poured into numbers, reports, and results that made my wife, the manager, look brilliant to her bosses. I never complained. I believed that one day, when the time came, she would see me. She would recognize what I had built and reward it. Not just because she was my wife, but because I had earned it. That day came, or rather it should have. The announcement was made in the glass-walled conference room, sunlight spilling across the polished table where dreams were handed out like favors. My name lingered in the air, whispered among my colleagues. Everyone expected it. Everyone knew it. But when she opened her lips, it wasn't my name that fell from them. It was Rachel's. Rachel, her friend. Rachel, who had been with us for less than a year. Rachel, who struggled to even understand the systems I had designed. And then my wife added it. 2 words like shards of glass hidden in cake. Friendship before love, she smirked, her eyes flicking toward me in a way that told me this was not just a decision. It was a message. The room clapped politely, but the sound was hollow in my ears. My vision blurred at the edges as my wife embraced Rachel, whispering congratulations, her hand lingering on her shoulder longer than professional courtesy required. Something in that touch, gentle, intimate, was a wound no applause could hide. I smiled, not because I felt joy, but because anger had frozen into something sharper, something clean. I went back to my desk, opened my laptop, and typed out my resignation. Line by line, I wrote with steady hands. Not a word of bitterness, not a plea, not even sarcasm. Just facts, just closure. And then I signed it, with a smile. That night I didn't go home. I walked the streets instead, replaying every detail of the past year. The way Rachel had slipped into our dinners casually, uninvited but always welcomed. The way my wife defended her mistakes at work with a softness she never extended to me. The way they laughed together, private jokes I could not enter. It wasn't just friendship. It had never been just friendship. When I finally returned, hours past midnight, the house was dark except for the glow in our bedroom. I pushed open the door. And there she was, my wife, sitting cross-legged on the bed with Rachel beside her. Laptops open, wine glasses half empty. Their laughter cut off the moment they saw me. Rachel flushed. My wife didn't. She only tilted her head, that same smirk curling at the edge of her lips. "We were just working," she said. But her eyes didn't hold mine. They held Rachel's. I knew then. The promotion hadn't been stolen. It had been gifted, an offering, a way to bind them together not only as friends, but as something more. I placed the envelope with my resignation on the dresser, the paper crisp and final. She stared at it, then back at me. For the first time in years, she looked uncertain. "You're leaving?" she asked. "Yes," I said simply. "From the job." "From this." Her smirk faltered. "You don't understand." "I do," I cut her off, my voice steady, almost gentle. "I understand perfectly. You chose her." The silence between us was heavier than any argument. Rachel shifted uncomfortably. Her presence a shadow we could no longer pretend wasn't there. My wife reached for me then, out of instinct more than love, but her fingers brushed against air as I stepped back. I packed quietly over the next week. She tried to talk, but her words were always tangled in excuses, half-truths, or laughter she had shared with someone else. Rachel's name slipped too often from her lips. And every time it cut a little less because the wound had already scarred over. The day I left, I didn't slam doors or raise my voice. I simply placed my key on the kitchen counter and looked at her one last time. She was beautiful, yes. She was everything I had once wanted. But she was also the reason I had learned what betrayal truly felt like. As I walked away, I thought of those words again. Friendship before love. Maybe for her, love was disposable. A convenience she could set aside for someone who made her laugh. Someone new, someone exciting. But for me, love had been everything, and now it was nothing. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I simply smiled as I closed the door behind me. Because sometimes the greatest revenge is not destruction, not shouting, not proving your worth. Sometimes the greatest revenge is leaving quietly, letting them drown in the silence you leave behind. And as I stepped into my new life, I knew one truth with a clarity I had never known before. I may have lost my wife, I may have lost my job, but I had found myself again, and that was a promotion no one could take from me.